Let's talk about why you're attracting the wrong relationship in your 40s. All right. So I made a post, and in my post, I'm pretty much talking about how you're not cursed. The fact that as women, we keep attracting these toxic relationships. Let me tell you why. We don't realize this, but sometimes we attract these relationships because it's what we're familiar with. I'm going to tell you about my story. If you don't know, I am a divorced mom. I was in several relationships where there was domestic violence. I don't like to use the term victim just because to me the victims didn't make it, but I was obviously the party who endured some type of violence, domestic violence. But here's the thing, after I got out of these relationships, I ended up actually analyzing myself and trying to figure out why I was attracting these relationships or why I was even in them. And here's the thing, it was familiar to me. I know it sounds fucking crazy, but hear me out. As a kid, I was used to that chaos, that disorder. I had a mother who always put me down, who through fear, she would parent me. Through fear, she wanted me to love her. And it was honestly what I was used to. I was used to, and if this offends you, I was used to being mind fucked as a kid, and I didn't realize that. And if you've ever had anxiety, it's that like fight or flight feeling. And what's crazy is we end up attracting those people because that's what we're used to. That's what we are used to coping and managing as a kid. Crazy how we can do that. And when we actually start to heal and we attract someone who's healed, who doesn't have these limiting beliefs and traumas that we have gone through and they've healed, they've actually done the work and put the work and investment in themselves, we actually start to attract that same person. When we do the work, we attract those people. And what ends up happening is you end up seeing how what was before chaos and you thought was or normal, but it was chaos, you end up realizing it was chaos and you start attracting peace. You start bringing in peace into your own life through healing by asking yourself, why did I do those things? Why did I attract those things? We're not victims. It's not like a guy who is abusive was like, I want that chick to break her down. That's not it. So it's not that we are victims, but why are we also attracting these men? Why do we want to be accepted by them? Why are we trying so hard to fix them if we know that is not something for us? And that is like where as moms, we got to hold ourselves accountable, because as long as we think we believe in our minds, as long as we keep believing we deserve chaos, we are going to keep attracting chaos. As long as we believe we're not worthy of a good man who's going to treat us good, we're going to keep attracting that. And then we're going to settle. Okay. And then we're going to be upset. We're going to want revenge. We're not going to be healed. All because we made these decisions on our own. And instead of actually saying, why am I in these relationships if I'm not happy? And realizing they stem down somewhere into the root of something. When you start realizing that, like, it's crazy how you can attract the person who's going to treat you good. It is crazy how you don't self-sabotage yourself anymore, because that's what we do as women. We self-sabotage ourselves. We think we're not worthy of a man treating us good. So when a man actually comes around and treats us good, we don't know how to act. We're like, oh my gosh, he's not treating me like shit. He's not making me try hard. That's what peace looks like. It looks like two peaceful, healed people coming together to join forces. Alrighty. It doesn't look like, oh, let me get at him. Let me hurt him. No, you're like, you know what? Actually, I do deserve this. And the reason for my post was because I went on, just yesterday, I was going on this, pretty much I was on my soapbox about being a mother, parenting, having the right to choose, and child support. And I have been asked several times, do you believe in a woman's right to choose? And I do. But I don't believe in me having that right to choose and then I'm going to go after someone. I'm going to go after the dad. I'm going to go after the government for money to help me take care of my kids. No. When you make that right to choose because you know the organs you have and how they can bring life into this world. You got to be responsible with that. It's kind of like someone when they have a gun. They got to be responsible with it, right? We have reproductive organs. We should be responsible as well, but we're not. And instead, what we do is we are unhealed mothers, unhealed kids, having kids, and then we pass that trauma onto our own kids. We pass these beliefs onto our own kids. And it is because we're used to the chaos. That's what we're used to. And we end up passing also these shitty traumas to our kids where the father doesn't want to be with us. We're not compatible and we take it personal. We tell our kids, you know what? Your dad doesn't love you because he's not paying child support. Your dad doesn't want you. All these things to hurt our children when they are all wrong. They're incorrect. And being that we as women have the right to choose, we should also hold ourselves accountable for the man we are choosing to be the father of our kids. And also understand that not all men are ready to be a dad. Not all men know how to be a dad. If you asked me if I prepared my 26 and 22-year-old to be fathers, absolutely not. I didn't prepare them. Their dads weren't really involved, so they didn't prepare them. And so who's to blame here? Because everybody's always looking for that blame game, right? That's not what it's about. It's about showing grace. It's about coming from a place of love. Because just because some of us know how to change a tire doesn't mean everybody else has to know. It's about learning to grow and learning, okay, to just pour wisdom, healing, and love into each other. And that is where I tell people, and especially moms, you need to heal yourselves. Because if we think back to our parents, when did they have us? I'll give you my example, of course. I think my mom had me in her 30s. She had a 5th grade education level. She worked in the fields. She didn't have time to go to school. She didn't have parents who poured love into her. They only taught her how to work. Does that make her a bad mom? No. It makes her just someone who tried. But me, I know right from wrong. And I know that it is my duty to now pour more into my kids and into my parents and to come from a place of love. It's not up to me to shit on them. They didn't know any better. They were only given the resources that they had. And it is our job to keep elevating, to keep gaining this wisdom, knowledge, this healing. This is where you find people who are actually healing and doing good shit. And you do the same thing. Like, people invest in their lashes, their nails, their hair, all these things. What about our healing? And I get it, as Latinas, we're like, no, we can't go to counseling. We can't get a coach. Why not? You think your mom's your coach? You think your parents are your coaches? How do they talk to you? What beliefs did they give us? Did they tell us we were here as victims? Did they tell us, hey, humble yourself? Don't try to get anything because then that's evil. Yeah, we were given all these bullshit beliefs. As Latinos, we can't be ambitious. You got to be humble. Don't buy anything. Why? Because they think that's wrong. They think our parents thought having something meant we were different. We weren't worthy. We didn't deserve that. No. ¿Cómo? Like, we're not going to be Mexican anymore if we're ambitious. That's not what that means. That's not what that means. And it's crazy how we think, even through this whole child support game, you know what we do? Let me tell you. So, the ambitious parent, the one who's got all these assets, who's doing good for themselves, they're the ones who have to pay child support to the one who's less ambitious. Why is that? Why do we live in a society like that? Instead of a judge saying, so please share this, instead of a judge saying, wait a minute, Mr. or Miss, you don't have that many assets. You're not trying that hard. This person, like, dang, look at all these assets they got. Why aren't you on this level? Why are you coming to take from someone who is more ambitious? And I'm going to tell you, 90% of the time, it's the moms who are going in there requesting that a father pay a fee because because we told ourselves, we're victims. I had that kid, I'm a victim. You're not a victim. You were given a challenge. You were given a blessing. You were given a task. Now, whether you can overcome anything with that that challenge, task, whatever, that is on you. But it is not anyone else's responsibility to dig us out, to pay. Like, I mean, just think how many kids had to be raised without their fathers because of money. How many of us were removed from our fathers by the court system because they thought money equated to being a good parent, being a good father? Wow. Crazy, huh? That is just mind-boggling. But instead, they punish the parent who's more ambitious, who's doing good, and they say give it to the one who's less driven, who's out here acting like a victim, and who has no motivation, drive, and hasn't healed. They instead want to come after you to pay them. Not for healing, because they're not going to heal, because they can't seem to get over themselves. Right? Am I hitting nerves right now? I should be. And so this is where I say, like, man, as moms, we need to learn to heal. Okay, we're not correct just because we have a baby. It is not okay for us to hurt other people. It's not okay for us to hurt the fathers of our kids. Come on, really, like, hold yourself accountable. Why did you pick that person? And just because they don't want to be with you, it doesn't mean they're not a good dad. Doesn't mean they're not a good person. They just don't want to be with you, and that is okay. It's not like the end of the world. I get it. Everybody wants to be with the dude who they had kids with. Doesn't always work out that way, though, because of the decisions I make. And we got to hold ourselves accountable and just fucking keep it moving. Don't get mad. Just heal and keep it going. Like, life isn't over just because the one relationship don't work out. Find yourself that love who's going to bring you peace, who's going to take you to where you want to be. But so many don't even think about that. That's where your mindset comes into play. You got to think about that. You got to feel it. You got to know it's there. It's yours. If you don't, you're going to keep chasing all this bullshit. Everything that's not for you. Alrighty, I'm ending this because it's been kind of long. If you enjoyed it, please share, subscribe, todo. Alrighty, I'm trying to get to like 100 followers so I can go on live. So if you can help me, that'd be great.